Hey there. In this video, I am going to show you what are the steps to wholesaling real estate. I have 8 steps today that I'm going to share with you. Jeremy Beeland here. If you don't know who I am, I've grown multiple 7-figure markets from scratch since 2017, and I've successfully closed over 400 off-market deals. I specialize in teaching high-level acquisition skills that empower individuals to achieve remarkable success in acquiring off-market properties directly from sellers. All right, let's get to it, guys. What are the steps to wholesaling real estate? It's super easy, all right? So I'm going to give you the 8 steps here today, and we'll go over a little bit about each one of them, right? First off, number 1, you need contracts. You need a purchase and sales agreement and an assignment contract. So a purchase and sales agreement or a purchase and sales contract, same thing, but all that is a contract for you to buy a property from a seller. So Mr. Seller is selling a property at 123 Main Street. You take a purchase and sales agreement and you write up a contract to buy 123 Main Street from Mr. Seller for X amount. But you have to make sure that your contract is assignable. So easiest way to do that is Mr. Buyer and or assigns. That's it. Just write your name. Mr. Buyer and or assigns. And that allows you to sign the contract. And then that's where you need an assignment contract. It's just a contract that only allows you to assign the rights to a purchase and sales agreement to somebody else. That's all wholesaling is. You take a purchase and sales agreement and you assign the rights of that purchase and sales agreement to buy a property to another buyer. So let's just break this down even more. You have a purchase and sales agreement for 123 Main Street for $100,000. You have an assignable contract. Now, via an assignment contract, you could take the rights of that purchase and sales agreement and assign those rights to another buyer who can now take control of the purchase and sales agreement and execute the rights to that contract. And you can give it to him or them for $120,000. So you have $100,000 on the purchase and sales agreement, $120,000 on the assignment contract. That $20,000 in between is yours. So that's how it works, right? So you need a purchase and sales agreement and a assignment contract. What else do you need? Well, I strongly recommend you get an LLC. Now, you don't need this, but if you are going to be serious about wholesaling real estate, I would get an LLC. Cheap money, a couple $100, maybe less, and it could be anything. Just pick a name. You know, Mr. Buyer, I like to buy houses LLC, whatever the case is, just pick a name. And this will just give you an extra layer of protection, and it'll help give you a professional image. At the end of the day, where you're working with distressed sellers, you want to be professional. So get an LLC. Again, not necessary, but highly recommended. So that's number 2. Number 3, a title company. A title company is going to be a huge part of your team as you're wholesaling real estate. Now, in some states, there are attorney states, like New York, for example. Then you need a real estate attorney that specializes in closings to represent you. So the idea here with a title company is once you get a purchase and sales agreement under contract with Mr. Seller at 123 Main Street, you are now going to take that contract and send it to the title company. The title company is going to open up escrow. They're going to check to make sure they can get a clear title so you can actually buy this property and that somebody can actually sell this property. There's a lot of things behind there. It's a video for a different day, but you want to open up escrow, and then the title company will contact Mr. or Mrs. Seller and start a conversation with them of some things that they need. And once you assign the contract to an end buyer, Mr. Buyer, who's now going to be buying the property, and you have that signed assignment contract with the buyer, between you and the buyer, you're going to send that to the title company too. Now your title company is going to handle everything. So this is why title companies are really, really important, right? They're going to make sure you get clear title. They're going to communicate with the seller. They're going to communicate with the end buyer. They handle all the money that needs to go back and forth. All you have to do is focus on helping Mr. or Mrs. Seller get to closing and provide any value that you need to do in order to get the deal done, right? So when we buy properties that are distressed, we are providing value to that seller, and we are exchanging value for equity in their home. So whatever that situation is, whatever solution that you're providing, that's where you need to focus your efforts on. Not getting clear title, tax liens, payoffs, none of that stuff. Let the title company handle that. So a good title company and or real estate attorney for closing is a huge part of your team. It can't be overlooked. One of the first things you should look for before you even start looking for distressed properties. Number 4, real estate attorney, just where we left off, right, with the title company. Real estate attorney is huge part of your team. First of all, I would have them draft your purchase and sales agreements. I would have them draft your assignment contracts. Make sure that the contracts you're using are legal for your state. A lot of people like to go online and just get like templates and basic agreements off of Facebook groups and stuff like that. I wouldn't recommend that, okay? Every state has very specific laws that you have to adhere to. And if you don't, you could be liable for getting sued or getting in trouble. I mean, when you're talking about real estate and talking about buying people's houses, like, you can't mess around. You have to be very serious about what you're doing here, because one mistake could ruin their lives and definitely ruin yours. So, make sure that you are very careful here. So find a good real estate attorney, somebody who's worked with wholesalers. Easy to find through your real estate investment groups, meetups, Facebook groups. They're out there. They work with a lot of wholesalers. They're great. They know what contracts to use that protect you, and also protect your seller. So it's really important. Don't just try to, find something online, because what's going to happen is you're going to have a purchase and sales agreement with Mr. Seller, and it's going to be a great contract. Mr. Seller decides to get his own attorney for whatever reason. And as you're getting ready to close this deal and you're like, yes, I'm going to make a ton of money here, you realize their attorney found that this contract is not valid in this state and does not apply. And you may actually be in trouble of using a wrong contract and could get fined by the real estate commission in the state. So there's a lot of things you need to be careful of. So spend a couple $100, have a real estate attorney draft your purchase sales agreement and assignment contract. A lot of times they already have them. They'll just give them to you for free as long as you continue to use their business. And believe me, in real estate, things are going to come up. It's going to be very crucial that you have a real estate attorney as part of your team to protect you and to make sure that you are doing what's right and legal and staying clear of getting in trouble in this business. Wholesaling can be a little gray at times. You want to make sure that you're doing everything 100% to the extent of the law and doing it the right way. You don't want a chance doing it the wrong way. All right, 5, marketing, right? Well, now we got the contracts, LLC, title company, real estate attorney, all the boring stuff out of the way. Let's get into the fun stuff. Marketing. How do we find these houses? Well, I got a video for that, and it's not here, but you check out the other video for that. We'll get deeper into that. But marketing. So distressed sellers and distressed houses are everywhere. I'm talking everywhere. There's so many people that need your help to wholesale their house today. They just don't know about you. So marketing techniques, there's so many. There's driving for dollars. There's radio ads, social media ads like Facebook. There's TV. There's SEO, PPC, there's cold calling, there's texting, there's ringless voicemail, there's distress lists, local lists, list providers. There's so many ways to find distressed sellers. And there's a lot of different ways, and it really just matters on what's best for you. But to make it simple, man, you can just get some super niche list at your local town, code violation from the code enforcer's office, tax delinquent list of properties in your area from the tax collector or the tax county collector. You could get a eviction list from the circuit court of local recent evictions and get those lists. And then you can have them skip trace, where you could text message them, cold call them, write a handwritten letter, postcard them, door knock them. You can also just drive around for dollars in your neighborhood. Everybody knows what driving for dollars is, right? Just driving around, you're looking for those houses that need a lot of work. Take down the addresses, go check the tax card, find out who the owner is, where the mailing address is, skip trace them, get a phone number and call. There's a lot of different ways, and I'm going to break a lot of this thing down on another episode, but marketing. You have to be proactive to go find these places. Otherwise, you need to spend money on marketing to create ads where they can come and find you. You know, banner signs, that'd be another way where you could just post some signs out. Hey, I buy houses for cash, and they'll come find you. But you're either going to have to go find them or spend money on marketing where they come to find you. All right, 6, we're getting there. 6, distress list of distressed properties. Different ways, I just touched on this a little bit, okay? So there are list source providers out there. There's List Source, there's PropStream, there's PropWire, there's Deal Machine. All of these places will provide you lists of like vacant houses, tax delinquent, pre-foreclosure, absentee equity owner, senior equity owner. There's so many, right? But if you don't want to do it that way, you can even go to your local municipalities, right? So, you know, I just talked about it, right? Code violations from the local code enforcers. Now, this doesn't apply to all areas, but a lot of areas it does. Get a list of tax delinquent properties that have that are falling behind in taxes. You get that from the tax collector. You can get a list of properties through the local family court. You can get a list of properties that are going through eviction through the circuit court. You get all these. So an endless amount of lists to get. And then outside of that, again, you can even do things such as like radio ads, TV ads, social media marketing, and those will find the distressed people and they will come to you. So get a list. And again, driving for dollars works as well. Just drive around your neighborhoods and find those houses that need a lot of love. Put them on a list. Okay, 7. All right, phone numbers. All right, you don't want to use your own phone number. At least I strongly recommend that you don't. You can use a bunch of different companies to get you just a phone number that protects who your real phone number is. I like when you create a marketing channel that the leads come directly to you so you can answer the phone live or at least have a voicemail where you get back to it right away, especially on your personal cell. But we don't want your personal cell going out to the public because some people are going to be really unhappy that they received a letter from you wanting to buy their house. So with that being said, you can do things like Google Voice. We personally like to use CallRail, call software system you can buy online, very, really cheap. And what it does is they give you a bunch of numbers for really low costs, and you can attach one phone number per marketing channel, like one for this mailing piece, one for this mailing piece, one for this list, one for this list, one for your website, right? You can have different marketing channels to track your KPIs. Again, different video, different day. However, what that does is if somebody calls the phone number from a mailing that they just got, right? They're going to call that number. It's going to go into CallRail. CallRail is going to capture that information that they called, and then it's going to put it right through directly to your phone. And then you can either answer it live or do a voicemail. And that capturing that data does 2 things, really. One, it protects you from your number being out to the public. But secondly, as you start to track your KPIs, it will show all the people that are coming in and calling that number, which is something you need to do as you get better at this and start really honing in on your marketing. You need to know that information. That data is very, very critical for you to build out your KPI. So it works in a couple different facets. So got to have a phone number that is not your personal phone number. All right, here we are at the end. Number 8, cash buyers. Now, we did all the stuff that we needed to do, right? We got our purchase sales agreement, assignment contract. We have a title company. We have an LLC. We have a real estate attorney. We have all that stuff. We got a deal now with Mr. Seller at 123 Main Street. It's a hot deal. And we need somebody to assign that contract to. Where are we going to find a cash buyer? Well, good thing for you is they're everywhere. And they're a lot easier to find than you think. Again, this is a video that I already did one on that I break down all the different ways of finding cash buyers, but you will need to find cash buyers. And they're everywhere. They're buying houses all around your area right now, and they're a lot easier to get than you realize. So, a couple different things you can do to find them. Talk to your local real estate agents. Talk to your local real estate investing association groups, your local meetups, your Facebook groups. There's a lot of different ways. There's a lot of cash buyers out there. Now, I'll tell you this, you get a good deal. Finding the cash buyer is the easy part. Finding a good deal is the hard part. That's where you got to get really good and hone your skills at. So I hope that helps you guys today. That's 8 steps of what you need to do for wholesaling real estate. Let's go make some money. So that's it for this video. If you found these high-level strategies valuable, make sure you subscribe for more insightful content like this. And if you're looking to take your off-market property acquisition skills to the next level, I invite you to check out the link in the description. It's a valuable resource where I share about my coaching program, where it can help you master the skills to achieve exceptional results in your real estate ventures. Feel free to explore, and if you're interested in joining me in this journey to elevate your game and your off-market acquisition skills, let me know. Peace.